Thanks, Joe. Hi, my name is Noor,
And my name's Liz.
and we're both GIS specialists at the Office of Kentucky Nature Preserves. We're going to talk to you about how we improved our field data collection and visualization efficiency using ESRI applications, and how we connected with Joe at the South Carolina Heritage Trust Program to improve our workflow design. So similarly to the South Carolina Heritage Trust Program, the Office of Kentucky Nature Preserves is part of the NatureServe network of heritage programs. And we're responsible for maintaining a state database of rare, threatened, and endangered species and ecological communities, as well as managing the state's nature preserves and natural areas. Our office has conserved a grand total of 128,000 acres in the state. Of that total, 25,000 acres are the direct responsibility of our office in terms of active land management and preserve maintenance.
And for that, we have a dedicated team of preserve managers who work tirelessly to keep invasive species under control, plan prescribed fires, and maintain trails. Our team of botanists, ecologists, and zoologists, who are just as dedicated, perform rare species surveys both on our office's conserved areas and on other public and private lands. And last but not least, our conservation mission would not be complete without our office's continuous environmental and education outreach to the public.
So last year, we streamlined our project impact review requests using the NatureServe public-facing environmental review tool, where users can create project boundaries and receive species reports within minutes. So this freed up the time needed to overcome a handful of internal challenges this year. There has been a strong need for the past several years for our office to begin collecting and visualizing field data more efficiently, so that impactful decisions can be made using real-time data. Until very recently, our office was still using a paper-based workflow to collect data, which sometimes caused backlogs and varying data collection methodologies. This workflow made it difficult for preserve managers and biologists to effectively communicate about their observations and prioritizations. For example, vegetation monitoring plots set up by botanists on nature preserves could not be easily located by preserve managers. Additionally, while we do emphasize rare and endangered species, our office does a lot more. We also collect non-rare species observations, and they have not been recorded in any meaningful format for years. Our efforts over the past year have been to address these problems by modernizing our data collection while improving the ability of staff to share data internally.
One of the first steps to improve our office workflow was to begin utilizing Survey 123 to collect species observations. Our office reviewed the NatureServe General Species Observation Survey that Joe also showed in his presentation. And then beyond that, we also recognized the need for our field staff to be able to collect data for specific grant-funded projects. We created several species-specific surveys that allow for projects with more specialized research needs to be met.
Now, although Survey 123 saved our biologists a significant amount of time in data transcription, we still wanted a method for the data to be carefully quality controlled before it's integrated in a final data set. Melissa and the ESRI Advantage program connected us with the South Carolina Heritage Trust program, where Joe demonstrated the option to edit already submitted Survey 123 records using the Smart Editor widget in Web App Builder, or using a custom URL scheme to open the Survey 123 web form in edit mode.
But our work definitely didn't stop there. One of our key goals was for our staff to be able to visualize previously collected data in the field. So we created a map in Collector for ArcGIS for our field biologists and preserve managers to utilize. We added layers that showed our species observations, our Kentucky of Nature Preserves properties, and then just a general points of interest layer. And then our staff is able to utilize this map to efficiently navigate to points in the field, but is also able to use it to collect observations that might be critical for land management or need further investigation, but that also don't necessarily fit into the scope of a particular project. So this workflow has allowed for our field biologists and managers to more efficiently communicate and provide data to each other, which allows for better land management practices and improved conservation and protection for our rare and endangered species.
And we then started looking into other ways that ESRI applications can improve our workflows. Our program administers the Kentucky Heritage Land Conservation Fund, which requires annual conservation easement inspections. Our previous workflows included numerous Excel sheets and shapefiles that needed to be consulted for hours before having a complete picture of an inspection site. By utilizing the ESRI conservation easement solution and customizing it to suit our needs, we have not only improved the workflow for field staff, but also increased supervisor accessibility to see what properties still needed to be visited and how the year's inspections are progressing.
Moving forward, we hope to improve all of these processes by using our cabinets portal for ArcGIS. Currently, our workflows are accessible through ArcGIS Online, and we're excited about transferring our tools over to Portal, which will give us better capabilities when it comes to data storage and actually updating our databases. Additionally, we plan to collaborate with Joe and the South Carolina Heritage Trust Program to further our joint goals of improving data collection and for land management activities, and increasing the ease and access that relevant stakeholders have by creating some hub sites. So with that, it will go back to Melissa.